Hey everybody, and welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason,
And I am Michael.
and I'm glad that I was able to get back in time to actually do this today. I just
Yeah, I
got,
was wondering about that when I heard you were in Texas.
Jess and I went to Austin, Texas for 4 days. We went from Saturday and we flew back home last night. So it was like get home, unpack, and then then sleep for maybe 4 hours, then get up and go to work, and then come straight home and jump on the show here. So I was wondering how conscious I would be for this, and decent so
Well, you
far.
made us feel special.
Yes. But, Austin was a hell of a lot more fun than I was actually expecting. We went out there initially to go.
Isn't that what they
Um,
do South by Southwest?
yes, it's where they do South by
Okay.
Southwest, which I do want to check out one of these years.
I'm
But
curious about it too.
we mainly went out there. It was a part of my big birthday present, which was going to see the Formula One race out there.
At least it
So
was Formula One. I was gonna say, if you went and saw NASCAR, I was gonna hurt you.
please, we had like great
I watched
seats.
500 left turns.
The race was just so much fun. I got sunburned all to hell, but that's all good though.
And
But
you're looking a little rosy.
yeah, but the thing is though, the majority of the time that we were there, it was well, we went to one nice place. We all when we go on these trips, we always do at least one nice dinner.
Let's get some
And
better
she was
lighting.
able to get a reservation
There
at a
we go.
place called Eddie V's, which apparently is like one of the top steakhouses in Austin. Like we
Okay.
get there, and because she set the reservation like 4 months ahead, we were able to get a table. There was like a line
hmm
out the door, and apparently there was actually a few of the really cool, really good Formula One drivers actually eating there at the same time too. So it was like a bit
Nice.
of a madhouse. Steak was amazing, but the rest of the time it was just all mom and pop shops, little hole in the wall places that we come across, either little breweries or barbecue
Those
joints.
are the
And
best. I
oh,
mean, I
they're
mean, even in other countries. I mean, every time I went to Japan, and wherever possible, I tried to eat at a mom and pop joint because
hmm
that's where you're gonna find the best food.
Exactly. And there was actually a taco stop. I guess you can call it a franchise. There's only two of them in Austin called Torchy's. Torchy's Tacos.
Technically a franchise, I
Yay.
suppose. Kind of the way Tommy Burgers is a franchise, although Tommy Burgers has grown.
Yes, it has. But they only have two locations. They're only separated by like 10 miles from each other. And
No, it's not too bad.
their breakfast tacos were outside. Like we went like twice during the time. And it was
Nice.
so good. I actually got a bottle of their hot sauce, which is called Diablo hot sauce. They bring, oh, it has such a nice burn. It burns so good.
Does it? I want to make a Taco Bell joke, but I'm not gonna.
No, this is nothing like Freebirds that one time.
You're gonna
Oh,
be screaming, going, "I regret nothing."
Sega fan asked in the chat that if I ate at Whataburger, Cracker Barrel, Waffle House. The thing is, though, Jess and I were planning to go to all of those places, and then after talking to like local people at breweries and taco joints and whatnot, we ignored all of that and found like local mom and pop shops and little bars and whatnot. One was called Doc's that uh, we were there to probably like 1 in the morning, which felt early for us because it's a 2 hour time difference. So, but we haven't hit any of those. But the thing is, though, we will probably go back and we'll check them out at that point. But there's places, to go to. I could list them all, but we're not. We have a short time frame for tonight's episode, so it was a ton of fun. I will be posting a video of our trip, probably within the next 2 weeks, so you guys can catch that on the YouTube channel.
On the
But
YouTubes.
let's get to what Michael. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been. I think I mentioned last time, or I know I told you directly about it. I've been playing around with the. I got a Raspberry Pi 3,
Right.
and I finally got a case for it.
Nice. Yeah, the
And
clear
I
one, right?
started. I'm sorry.
The clear one, right?
Well, it's a layered one. I'm not. I have to disconnect again to pull it up and show y'all.
Ah.
But I've got a clear one for the Pi 1, which is what it came in when my dad said he was tired of it and handed it to
Oh,
us.
okay.
Um, but this one's a black and white sliced,
Mm.
or black and clear sliced. So it fits perfectly. It's got a mount for a fan if I want to put it in. The little fan's loud, but as small as that fan is and as fast as it spins, not too surprising.
Well, it's got to be like a
Um,
server fan, though, isn't it?
What?
It's like a server fan, though, isn't it?
The little teeny one, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's like I could pull it out and show you if you really want to see it, but it's tiny.
Okay.
But I've been putting RetroPie on it,
Mm.
because my eventual goal is to build a arcade cabinet. I was originally going to do the whole thing where I drilled the holes myself and wired, but I don't have all those tools. So instead, what I'm probably going to do to save myself a grip ton of work, I actually happen to have that page right up right now, so I can send it to you. You can show it if you want. At least I had it up. Hang on, where'd it go? Crap. Okay, give me a second, I'll find it.
No worries. We can put it in the show notes if need be.
Yeah, it's the X Arcade makes a stick that's 2-player, 8-button, player 1, player 2, and a trackball.
Nice.
And it's USB.
It's the black one with the red accents, right?
Well, that's what most of their color coding is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one before. That is a really nice one.
Oh, it's
And
pretty.
Plus, you can also put it to the side and put it in storage when you're not using it. It's, so you can
Well,
still
yeah,
have
but the idea is that hang on one second here. I'm just going to bring it up and you can show it. This is live television, folks. That is not what I was looking for. Oh crap, that's loud.
Oh, did you bring up a monitor
That was loud. No, I had the page that I was going to get the picture. Oh, I'm so dumb sometimes.
Did you have it up at full blast?
No, I've got the headphones on, so it just went. It was one of those. The minute you go to the page, the flash animation launches.
Okay, gotcha.
And I hate those things.
Products of a bygone era.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find the right one here. Okay, here's a good shot of it. Right here. Oh, that's a low res. Let's see if we can find a better res. Oh, they're all about that res. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. View image. Copy. Sending it to you in AIM.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, this sucker, it costs $200.
Yeah, this is the exact one I was thinking it was.
But it's all arcade quality buttons, true dip switch sensors. It's got the trackball so you can do games that require it. The only thing it doesn't have, well, the two things that it doesn't have that would make it absolutely perfect, that's a spinner for games like Tempest, or there's a Star Trek game that uses a spinner.
Right.
That would be awesome, but I'm sure you could probably mod it and find a way to put it on there somewhere.
Very true.
The other is the joystick for like they used in the Tron game.
Yeah, that would be. I've seen mods for that, not with this exact model though, but with other ones, there is the option out there.
Yeah, well, and what's neat about this is USB control, so you can just unplug it, and there's a cabinet pattern you can make that has a tray specifically for these controllers.
Right.
So you just go, hook it up to USB, slide it in, flop it, and you're good to go.
Gotta love the modular availability of these things.
Oh yes, oh yes. So that's what eventually I plan to put the Pi into.
Oh, I'm looking forward to when that is completed. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. The cabinet's going to be the hard part because I don't have the tools to make it. So.
Well, that's a long-term project. It's always good to have a long-term project like that.
Yeah, assuming he doesn't kill me first.
Well, let's get to something that won't kill you, but probably will kill your wallet, though.
There's plenty of that, but I know where you're going with this.
Microsoft had a press conference this morning to talk about what people were expecting was an update to the Microsoft Surface, their tablet hybrid laptop thing that, to be honest, is not bad, but it's always one of these things that it always felt like it was trying to be a copycat of sorts. It's trying to play catch up on stuff, at least to me. Did it ever feel that same way to you, Michael, with the Surface?
Oh, well, I mean, it's obvious that Microsoft has fruit envy.
Yes, very much so. But I do have to say that it is
It looks impressive as hell.
Yeah, because what we're talking about is they revealed a brand new version of the Surface that's called the Surface Studio. And I do have to say, one, It is a really nice, a very sexy design. It's very minimalistic. You have all the main PC components in the base station itself, and with this huge 28 inch screen,
Oh,
and
so it is 28. I
it
figured it was
is
like 27.
28 inch, and get this, its resolution is 4500 by 3000. It's larger than 4K.
Uh-huh. And now get to the big good part.
That it's also a basically a giant tablet that lies flat, almost flat down, so you could use it as like a Wacom
Yeah,
tablet. Yeah, no, that
it's effectively a Cintiq with balls.
yeah. This thing, it's gorgeous. They obviously when they bring out or when they reveal these things, they want to put it in the most positive light imaginable. And the videos that they were showcasing for this new product look amazing. And then I look at the specs. The specs aren't bad. I mean, you can either get a Core i5 or Core i7, a 1 or 2 terabyte hybrid drive. That's one of the OS partitions, SSD, and the rest is spinner. Um, you have 3 different memory options, 8, 16, and 32 gigs. Graphics on this are only available in the mobile version, like the laptop versions, like the GeForce 965M or the 980M.
Yeah, the 965 or the 980M is pretty impressive.
Mm. But
It will keep up with my GTX 660 that's in my tower.
and this is with the new architecture that was used in the 1080 series, wasn't it? Can't remember exactly.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the 950M, the mobile version, which is typically slightly underpowered compared to the actual tower case version, is that 950M will keep up with the GTX 660 that I've got, and it'll actually run circles around it if I remember correctly.
Other ports, the usual smattering. You got USB ports, headphone jack, SD card slot, Ethernet, mini display port, Wi-Fi. There's 2 cameras on it, one front-facing and then one rear support camera. I'm like, that's odd for a desktop, but okay, sure.
It's a bit weird.
But that's not what you're buying this for. You're buying this for that gorgeous screen and for the ability to use it as a Cintiq.
Yeah. Oh, and there's one other little attachment that makes it freaking awesome.
You're talking about the Surface Dial, right?
I'm talking about the puck, yes.
Yeah, this little hockey puck thing connects via Bluetooth, and if it works the way that they're talking about, this thing is gorgeous. You can use it in almost any design you can
I
want.
would see it being used pretty much mostly in art programs. I could see uses for it in 3D programs.
But you got to think the majority of this is for for designers, for artists.
Yeah.
Combined with the Surface, what this thing has inside, it actually has haptic feedback to give you a feeling of clicks if you actually have it set up that way. You can do completely smooth. You can do color alterations. You can use it to do rotation. You can do it for a boatload of other aspects. The sky's the limit. Here's the thing, though. These things are going to be pricey.
Yes.
The puck itself, or I should probably call it, it's actually called the Surface Dial, is $100 for itself.
That's actually not bad for what it is.
But if you pre-order the Surface Studio, you get one for free. Now the Studio itself starts at $3,000. It's not really what you would call cheap. And the thing is, though, when you look at something like this and you look at the competition it's trying to go after, it's right in that same price point, around $2,000 to $4,000 for the high-end, good quality stuff. The thing is, though, if you were trying to come in and create this new experience or a better experience that you can get from anybody else, you want to have not only a really strong presence, but you want to be able to get it at a price point that most people will consider that over, their Cintiq or whatnot.
Well, yes, but since they're obviously going after Apple and whatnot.
Right.
None of the iMacs are touchscreen.
No, and this is
And they certainly don't have that puck.
no, and I can imagine
So,
that even though they're going
That's going to give them a perk there.
so you mean. So they're basically going after 2 different groups. They're going after the Cintiq, the Wacom people, and they're also going after Apple with their with the iMac, their version of the iMac killer.
I'm almost willing to drop money that I'm willing to bet they collaborated with Wacom on that Surface tablet.
It wouldn't surprise me. They
Because
haven't been.
Wacom's the dominant force in that arena.
Mhm.
So they're basically, I think what they're doing is they're effectively. This is not what they actually did, obviously, but what they're effectively doing is they're saying, let's take a 27-inch Cintiq, which does exist, freaking gorgeous,
Mhm.
effectively give it a Retina screen resolution,
Essentially, yes.
and let's make it the primary monitor
And also to put in,
to this little base station computer.
and while we're at it, let's make it currently the world's thinnest screen at 12.5 millimeters.
Yeah,
It is
I mean,
in. It's gorgeous.
it's beautiful. It's
it,
absolutely beautiful.
but I'm not going to be considering buying it anytime soon, or if ever. Again, this is also
To
the
throw
first.
away, I mean, I could see getting it for someone who for an artist, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I can't draw a straight line without a ruler to save my life. You know, and even then, I can't even do it perfectly with a ruler sometimes.
Well, let me put this.
So,
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, the ability to rotate the images or rotate the, you know, if you're doing it in a 3D thing, that's all great and wonderful. But the whole bendy, all that other crap that it does,
Mm-hmm.
for someone who does 3D, it's unnecessary.
Yes.
I mean, it's a spiffy little trick, but
A lot of it is unnecessary. A lot of it's for show, and I mean that's nothing wrong with that. It's just at that price point you start to question what could they've done without. But let me put it this way.
a high-end graphics company or a special effects house
Mm-hmm.
who's doing wire removal or you know, compositing,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's going to get used.
Well, at $3,000, the only company that actually able to afford it.
Most of your CG houses, it'll be part of the budget for the film.
Right.
I mean, I could see Digital Domain buying, you know, 12 of these things.
Yeah.
After all, Avatar is coming. Avatar 2 is coming.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, to throw on the other side, the timing it was not a mistake because tomorrow morning is going to be Apple's announcement where they're refreshing the MacBook Pros, possibly a refreshed iMac and a refreshed Mac Pro. These have been
What
the
about
worst.
the Mac Minis?
Hmm?
Are they going to refresh the Mac Mini, you think?
No idea. There's rumors that the trash can's coming back, but at the same time though, those things only got one update and then they just stopped providing.
No, what they
updates
need to
for
do
it.
is they need to take the Mac Pro out of the ash can form factor and put it back into an adaptable form factor.
It's
The
Apple.
towers they were in before, there was nothing wrong with.
No, there was nothing wrong with them at all, and they were actually
They
quite
were
iconic.
expandable. They had separate heat zones. Their ducting was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was changed just for the sake of, hey, we're not Steve Jobs.
Yes, basically.
That's all that was about.
Yeah. So we will see what happens tomorrow with that. But here's the thing I want to get to you, and I want to pose this question to you. I remember in the past that you and I and tons of other people would be looking forward to with bated breath the sexiness of the new stuff that's coming out. A new laptop, a new, desktop design, a new video card, or a new phone or something like that. And honestly, I think we're at the point now that it's starting to, well, it's definitely for me, it's waned. The amount of excitement I get for this. I like seeing new tech, yes, but more and more often that's cool tech. I will get like the 5th generation of that when it's finally affordable. Walt Mossberg, in a recent article posted earlier today, actually, was saying that PCs have basically become like furniture nowadays, where you have a computer, you have a Mac, you have a laptop, and instead of getting the latest and greatest model every year or two, unlike what some people do with phones nowadays, you use that thing till it's already 3 feet underground, and then you go, I think it's time to start.
Like the only reason we're looking at replacing Nikki's Mac Pro tower is because as of this last OS X update, it can't take it.
Sierra, right?
Yeah. It can't. Her hardware is not supported.
Oh, so it's end of life. It's EOL.
It's basically EOL'd, and which for a mid 2009 Mac Pro tower, that's a hell of a run.
No, that is, and especially
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when those were built back in like the 2009, 2008, early 2000s,
They were built up to 14, I think.
but they were also built to last, though. That's the
Yes.
thing.
They're built to last. They were modifiable to where you could put more memory in them. You could expand the hard drives. You could. I mean, you weren't limited. I mean, even if you bought a top of the line, hey, we've got dual 8-core Xeons in here, and we could put more RAM in it. But if a new video card come out, you could swap it out.
The glory of what people could do with PCs nowadays. So
Exactly. Now the thing, I think part of what the problem is, and going back to your earlier statement about hype, I think what a lot of it is, all the quantum leaps have been leapt. It's
True.
iterations on existing systems. It's not, hey, here's the new iPhone, or hey, here's the iPad, or now that being said, the 12-inch iPad, freaking impressive.
Yes, the iPad Pro, yes.
But all the other stuff, they're not making the quantum leaps that they were making for several years.
No, they're just stronger evolutionary leaps.
Exactly. Now video cards are starting to do it. I mean, video cards still get me kind of excited. Like, the Titan series. Oh my God, is that pretty?
And I agree
powerful.
with you with that, especially when they announced the 1080, which came out earlier this year, was actually more powerful than the $3,000 Titan X that came out the year before.
Exactly.
For like a third of the price, if not, no, even more than that, like a fifth the price.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're still making quantum leaps in that arena. But, and especially now that VR's taken off, they need to, once they get the VR headsets to the point where you can get either true 1080 and with Retina, there's no reason it can't be doing this now, is the 4K in each eye. You want submersion? You take 4K, you wrap it around just a little bit. There you go. You got your full field of vision.
No, I agree with you completely. I mean, the highest resolution out there right now, commercially available, I believe, is the Vive, and those are 1920 by 1200 for each eye, and it's still impressive as hell. But you are still in a box looking forward. Yes. Whereas with the PSVR, we've talked before in the past, it was
we talked about it last time.
Yeah, it was 1080, but it was a single screen. There's always give and take, and there was actually other things that I was reading about with the PSVR that, in order to try to make things render a little better, they actually use a new algorithm that only renders where you're looking and keeps everything that's outside of your field of vision low poly or low res to try to increase the speed of it. There are tricks around for all of this.
If they can master that trick and make that work, that's impressive as hell, and it's a smart way to go. But also, I mean, the hardware required to drive something like that is also part of the problem. Now, the 1080 that you were talking about earlier, the NVIDIA 1080s, those I don't think one of them could drive the 1920 by 1200, but I'm sure if you SLI'd it, one per screen.
Oh, yeah.
Think of what you could do.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
That's like, hello, I want to run around BioShock Infinite.
That would be 3D. Gorgeous. That would be absolutely gorgeous.
Or things like Star Citizen that's coming out. That's supposedly, there are rumors that's going to support VR.
But everyone's jumping into VR. Microsoft, they had their big thing with the HoloLens, and they're still working on that, and it's some gorgeous technology. Also during their yeah, I know exactly. But instead of focusing all their efforts on that, they're divesting, and because they announced like several partner companies are creating VR headsets for Windows 10, and they start as low as like $300. But I'm like, that's just that's the in thing right now to do. VR definitely, I think. The
hardware is nice, but you need the software to drive it.
Exactly. So.
So what they're doing with these the Surface Studio is nice. It's pretty, but until they're not doing anything. Oh my God, I must have it.
Yeah, it's all nice. It's all pretty, and I appreciate what they're doing with it, but it's Joe Random Consumer, not a chance in hell.
No, that's a pro level unit.
Yeah.
I mean that's for a CG house and a high end graphics firm. That's not for you or me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can talk about that till the cows come home. And the thing is, we're gonna, at least for me,
Actually, I
I
think
know
the mouse just entered the gate, but that's okay.
I'm going to completely do a 180 on what I just said. Like, I can't. I don't need to get everything. I'll wait till like the X generations afterwards for it. I will buy this day one it comes out. The announcement of the Nintendo Switch, which was Project NX, which is a hybrid console slash handheld system that uses basically a tablet based gaming system that actually has detachable controllers and uses a dock for additional power and connections to your big screen TV. I am all for this.
I think it has great potential. I want to see what the games are, and I want to know what it can push. What's it pushing pixel wise?
Yeah, that's the big thing though. They're not giving any specs at all. The only thing that we know for sure is that it is being run on a highly modified NVIDIA Tegra 1 chip. Those
Nice.
things were beefy as hell, and if they're actually running on a completely different set of specs that Nintendo needed or required for the Switch, uh, I, I'm curious about it. One thing that a lot of people were understandably worried about, like you said, Michael, was the resolution. I mean, yeah, sure, you can say you're running 1080p or even possibly 4K when you have it connected to a big screen. But what are you pushing when it's just tablet mode? Because if it's just down to like
Yeah.
720p and like maybe 24 frames a second,
Well,
eh,
okay, that's not that big a deal because I mean, for example, you know, this is a 1080p screen.
right?
So if you figure the tablet's close to this size,
We were looking at it and they said it was probably around a 7 inch screen. They think 7 to 8 inch screen for it.
this one's a
I mean,
10. But
you can still do 1080. You can do actually a hell of a lot more than that, and that's that amount
yeah,
of space.
yeah. I mean, I mean, hell, just I mean, the Retinas prove that.
Now, Nintendo hasn't. They've been very quiet with additional details, but they are slowly responding, a bit vaguely, to some, you know, questions by the media. A couple things that they have confirmed is that the dock is necessary to play it on a big screen, which leads people to believe that there's no way to connect the Switch to a TV without the dock, and that the dock itself is actually only a dumb port. It only provides power and a connection to a big screen TV. And I'm
Which means
happy
they got a
for that
frick
because of
ton of processing power in that tablet.
but here's the thing, though. You can overclock that easily. One thing that actually caught my eye in the release trailer that was released like about a week and a half ago, actually, yeah, about a week, was that on the top of the Switch, there's a vent. What laptop or sorry, not what laptop, what tablet do you know that requires a vent on it? Not really.
I would think the NVIDIA Tegra, but
But that's the thing, though. I look at it
'cause you
as,
gotta keep it. There's got to be. There's probably like a micro fan in there that's going to be blowing air over a heat pipe.
and that's what I'm thinking is it probably doesn't need to be, the fan doesn't probably need to be running when it's in tablet mode, when you have it on the go, when you have it by itself. But as soon as you provide a uh, stable
The
power
built-in
source around
power
it,
from the
they
base.
can boost the power, and therefore you'll need at that point because it'll start overheating. You need the fan to release it. It's not going to be a problem because it's sitting in a dock. It's not going to be in your hands or burn your lap or whatever at that point. I'm fine
Well,
with them
also,
going down that path.
and looking at that dock, if you'll notice, I mean, there's not. It's not a glove fit all the way around it.
Hmm.
There's the space around it and a little cradle, so they may be blowing air through that.
Right. There could be a number of different, possibilities with it. Let's talk about the controls real quick. I love the fact that they are interchangeable at that point because that leaves the possibility of now you can start creating custom controllers for it. Maybe if you're gonna play, like say Pokemon Snap, you can have a new accessory on the side that clicks in for like focus or zoom, or you can start
Or let you do ARG pictures of your Pokemon snaps like you can do with Go.
exactly. Um, there's a lot of potential for a design like this, and this is classic Nintendo. We're not going to go for the most powerful, the most the best graphics, the most
Which they
pixel
tried
push.
to do with the U, but unfortunately didn't do it.
Unfortunately, no. I still love my Wii U. I still play it. Play a lot of Zelda on it. Um, but I can definitely see where they were
I
going
want to
with.
know the price.
Well, let's talk
That
about.
level of technology that can't be. Now, Nintendo has in the past made a deliberate point of pricing their units up until the U at the sweet spot, at the 200, 250 sweet spot.
Heck, when the
Looking at
Wii
that, I
came out,
seriously doubt they're going to be able to do that.
when the Wii came out, it was 149, around there. The Wii U, yeah, they definitely jumped it up even higher than that. To be honest, what they are trying to express what you can do with this, the be able to play
The
as a
head-to-head screens was impressive.
yeah, there's local multiplayer. They've always been a fan of offline multiplayer. They have great online multiplayer now because of things like Splatoon and whatnot, but there's nothing to match the ability to actually sit with a friend in person playing against them.
Across from each other.
Yeah, exactly. You'll each have your own, Nintendo Switch. You can each play. You'll have your own screen. You'll play it against a local wireless. I don't know if it's through whatever
I'm
format
guessing
they
it's going to be
decide.
ad hoc network.
Mm. I really like that idea. I do like the fact that they're back to cartridges now. Forget the discs; they don't need.
SD cards.
I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. You can put a hell of a lot of information on SD cards nowadays. So.
Well, yeah, 256 gigs is going. I think the current max that I've
I think it
seen.
was Sony or
I've heard
Samsung's.
rumors of a 1 terabyte.
Yeah, the 1 terabytes. Yeah,
But I've heard rumors of it.
Again, a hell of a lot of space in a tiny compact form. They're not going to redo the mistakes of the PSP, because having that disc in there, man, that burned battery more than anything else. I think in that system.
It burned battery, and you were so limited in your file size.
Mm-hmm.
The capacity on those things was 1.2 gigs with compression.
Yeah, it wasn't much at all. Um, I do have to laugh at the fact that some people are trying to look into Nintendo's latest patents requests because they are
It's a
kind
good way
of.
to get info.
It is a good way to get info, but there's the latest one people are looking at. It's actually a device to show an interactive um, projector on a handheld device. The diagram is basically someone
They're trying to beat RoboHone.
someone holding like the say the switch in one hand. And there's a baseball player at bat on the screen, and you hold your hand out and put it in the screen, and a little projector shows a little baseball, and you have to throw it and whatnot. That's what they're saying that they're trying to get the patent for. So now I'm not saying that's going to happen on the Switch, but if they're working on an idea like that,
Okay, maybe it's not the RoboHone. Have you heard of the RoboHone?
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think it's going to happen within the Switch itself, but I do like that Nintendo's trying to head that way.
Yeah, yeah. But the idea of they may come against that wall because if the folks who make the RoboHone have already patented it,
Mm-hmm.
The RoboHone, for those of you who don't know, is a little robot about yay big, which I doesn't realize doesn't mean crap on your screen. That is a portable phone. It won't walk, but you can make it. It'll do stuff. It'll mimic, and it's got a projector built into its head.
Yep.
So, and these things are currently only available in Japan, and there's no way to get them overseas short of buying them there and bringing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they're talking something similar to that, or maybe if they're doing I don't know, the whole projecting a baseball in your hand to throw it thing. The problem I have with that is then that means the machine has to track where your hand is, because if you're going to throw a ball, you have to wind up. And is the tablet going to track your hand?
Right. That's a hell of a lot of processing power and
There's some
sensors.
serious
Yeah, there's a lot for that.
logistical things there.
But I like the idea where they're going with
It's a
that.
great idea.
But let's go back to what you were mentioning earlier. the price. What do you think? I mean, what would you personally be willing to pay for a Nintendo Switch, given what you saw in the basically proof of concept video?
It's kind of funny they were showing Skyrim.
Yeah.
I would be. I mean, I don't buy game machines much anymore, only
Mhm.
because I don't play them nearly as much as I used to.
Right.
But that being said, if they hit that 200, 250 sweet spot, I'd be interested. But if they're going to throw it out like 400, I can get a PS4 Pro for that.
True. I could easily, me personally, I'd be happy to pay upwards of $299 for this thing. Would I think that they're gonna probably go for the $249? I think that's probably the sweet spot for something
I
like
think
this.
yeah, 2 to 250 is going to be
Because
the sweet spot.
you got to think
currently.
the 3DS, new, I think goes for like 169 right now.
I paid 200 for mine.
Because you,
No, what did I pay for mine? Because I bought it the day it came out.
yeah, they came out at 179 or 199. It was under
Yeah,
$200.
yeah, I paid. Yeah, so that's what I paid for that for my 3DS New.
And when the Wii U came out, it was like around what 249, 299. I want to see 249 for this thing, and I'll still buy it day one.
Yeah, but it was 249 stripped down,
That's true. It was like only 8 gigs internal memory, and it was the
and you
white
didn't
color.
have all the attachments.
Right. Well, with this,
If I remember correctly, it didn't come with the controller, the screen controller.
no, the gamepad, it had to come with that. That's actually
Oh,
an
okay.
integral part of the Wii U itself.
Okay.
They were considering for a while actually selling them separate, so you can get a second one, but they could never really get the frame,
Same.
the frame rate, to be stable enough to actually connect two gamepads of the same Wii U. So they just did away with that idea.
Gotcha.
But with everything they can do with the Nintendo Switch, with the extra controllers, possible custom controllers, they have yet to say whether or not it's actually a touchscreen. I'm sure by this day and age it's going to be a touchscreen. Whether or
I
not
thought they showed it doing a touchscreen.
never
They
did.
showed in the video.
They were pointing at
I
stuff,
saw
but it
somebody-
wasn't really
No,
a
I thought they showed
touchscreen.
somebody moving something with it. I could be wrong.
Unfortunately, not. I do like the way they're going forward. It's something that no one was really expecting. I mean, yes, there was rumors for stuff like this, but even so, rumors on stuff that neither Microsoft nor Sony would even try to attempt to touch. It's like, that's way too out there. Nintendo's like, we print our own money. We don't care. We're going to make new designs.
Well, yeah, but Sony just put all their eggs in a different basket.
Yes, they did.
Sony's going the VR route.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue what the hell Microsoft's trying to do.
I don't think anybody knows. The fact that, you
I mean,
had
what have we seen or heard of the next version of the X-Bone?
Project
Because-
Scorpio. That all we know is a video with developers talking about it, and that's it.
Okay.
Something that's going to have something like 8 teraflops of available power. I mean, it's
That's impressive.
going to be powerful as hell. It's essentially going to be a PC.
Well, it's already essentially a PC.
Yeah, they have been. That's
The 360 was a PC.
hell. The original Xbox was a PC. I modded the crap out of that and
Yeah.
put like Linux on it.
Yeah. I've got one laying around somewhere, but or no, did I get rid of it?
But I mean,
don't have that.
they're
I've got a
trying.
360.
They're getting to the point where with the next generation, with the PS5, whatever they call it, and with the
I think the PS4 Pro is the next generation
the
because
PS4
they're pushing the VR.
the PS4 Pro is only an enhanced version of the PlayStation 4. It's essentially
Oh, I get that
Yeah.
functionally, but I mean, what I'm saying is they did the PS4 Pro. My guess is primarily to drive the VR.
okay. That I
which
agree. Yeah,
which I think is the next iteration.
I really think though with Project Scorpio though, what they were saying that this thing will actually be able to do in terms of power. There's always been a separation in terms of graphical fidelity between PCs and consoles, and it's been slowly getting less and less, getting more narrow. With Scorpio, I think they're going to be on par at that
Especially
point.
if they partner with NVIDIA.
Hmm.
With a lot of people who've been partnering with NVIDIA lately. I mean, don't get me wrong, AMD's great. I used to love the Radeon until AMD bought it. But putting an AMD next to an NVIDIA at a comparable price, the NVIDIA is going to win virtually every time.
Hmm. Oh well.
and NVIDIA is the only one who's got the option to do things like the CUDA cores and whatnot, to have their hardware accessible to external stuff as additional processing power where needed.
They all had different.
So-
They all had unique ideas, and if they were actually fleshed out, I think they would have provided a much better, a much more competitive marketplace. But potential and how things were actually gone through, the execution of them, well, you see the
It's really
results of that.
sad, and what really upsets me, and people can yell at me all this all they want. What really pisses me off is they're going to make this kick-ass game system, whether it's Scorpio or the next generation of the PS5, whatever it's going to be. They're going to do all that. And what is going to be the most popular game on it? Fucking Madden.
Yeah, that's console gaming. That's you can't get away from that.
Madden, the NBA 2K, and FIFA.
Yeah.
Really?
It's going to happen. Things like that happen. It's unfortunate, but
Frickin' jocks.
it is what it is, and that's why I stick around with Nintendo, because they could make more Marios and more Legend of Zeldas and whatnot,
Well,
and I'll buy them till the cows come home. Even Sega fan in the chat was like, "What if that if you buy the Nintendo Switch for $400, but you got a gold limited edition Zelda one?"
Who cares?
But Zelda. Okay, fine.
Who cares?
All right.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some Zelda, but I don't love Zelda enough to pay $400 for a $250 machine.
Shut up and take my money. To each their own.
Now, if they did say a Tron special edition, that might hit my button.
Well, yeah, to each their own.
Or I mean, I was really tempted when I saw the Star Wars edition of the PS4. I have to admit, even though I already have one, I was like, God, that's tempting.
They did look very, very pretty. So, well, I think we've covered.
I think we're at the time where we have to wrap up.
Yeah, there's more stuff to talk about, but we have more episodes in the future to discuss about that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as always. We will be back in 2 weeks. That'll be on the 9th of November. And so hope you guys have a great Halloween. If you guys can go out there and participate, have fun, be safe.
Get lots of candy.
Yes, get lots of candy. So it'll be tons of fun. Anything last thing to add, Michael? Or
no, not this time around.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for From My Mother's Basement. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.